What's going on, everybody? I am D'Lo Brown, and ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the debut episode of what we like to call here the Fortress of Solitude. Two dudes hanging out, just chilling, talking wrestling, talking sports, hell, talking whatever the hell's on my mind. And my partner in this journey through the world of professional wrestling is the former Legion of Valor champion. He's the co-owner of 3PWA. I give to you Tony Raze. Tony, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
Brother, we're doing our thing.
It's hanging out, having fun. So I like to say that this is not just a normal podcast. What we are two dudes sitting around. Imagine us just two dudes sitting on a couch, chopping it up, and you guys at home get to watch us and hang out with us as we're talking about whatever the hell comes across our minds. It could be the world of wrestling. It could be today's politics. It could be, hey, are the Chicago Bears good? Are the Kansas City Chiefs not so good? Whatever it could be.
You never know what's going to accidentally fall out of our mouth.
And that's the thing here is we might get in trouble. We might get canceled, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to keep on keeping on. That's what I'm talking about right here. So, Tony, I want, before we get started in all this, let's talk one-on-one with our viewers. Let's talk one-on-one with the faithful out there and give them a little background on us. Yes, we're two good-looking dudes who like wrestling. But there's but we're not all just eye candy. There's a lot of substance underneath all these gorgeous looks. So, Tony, you have been in and around wrestling for over 20 years. Why don't you give the world a little intro to your origin story?
Ooh, that's scary. Once you get in this head, you may never get out.
Bro, Why do you think we call this the Fortress of Solitude? Because we got to get away like Superman does.
I had the pleasure of promoting a show, a local show I had brought Harley Race in and his company to do a couple of fundraiser shows in the state of Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been hooked.
And that's WLW for those who do not know.
World Legion Wrestling. Yeah.
And it was Harley Race's company that he ran out of St. Louis for years.
Yeah.
For years, drawing good numbers in the St. Louis market, one of the mainstay territories of professional wrestling.
The man actually got keys to the city in numerous towns and cities all across the state of Missouri.
And look, if I'm speaking a foreign language when I say Harley Race, Google him. Badass dude. Made this look real when everyone believed in what we were doing, and he was one of the realest dudes ever to step foot in the squared circle.
I was lucky enough to be able to sit under his learning tree a little bit,
And I'm telling you, I'm jealous. I've been all around the world, but I've never sat and had that detailed lesson being given by Harley Race like that. I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
Then obviously I started training and, out here in California and with Jesse Hernandez.
If you guys don't know Jesse, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Jesse is a very famous WWE referee. He handled a lot of the West Coast shows. I have been in the ring countless times with Jesse, counting the 1, 2, 3, and he's a consummate professional.
I never marked out so much in my life watching the movie Slam.
There you go.
He actually took a punch at Bruno Sammartino.
Bro, people who wrestle Bruno didn't want to take a swing at Bruno. So, yeah.
It's the movies, but still, you got to kind of mark out a little bit. Like, hey, that guy trained me. Like,
yes. But Jesse he's been around the Southern California area for almost 40 years now, 4 decades easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's helped He's helped cultivate a lot of young talent through his promotion and given a lot of young wrestlers opportunities they may not have gotten without his help.
Right. Exactly that. You know, but between that, bouncing back and forth between the Midwest market and the West Coast market, I've just gained a lot of experience working with people like D'Lo Brown here. You know, being able to share the ring with somebody like the likes of Butch Reed, beautiful Bobby Eaton. You know, it's like
You're speaking my love language right now. You know that, right?
I feel like a sponge because whenever I'm around these guys, I just want to soak up whatever they're saying to me. You know, and you have the opportunity to learn from one of these guys. Hint, that's a CCWA drop. Just saying, you know.
All right, we'll get there, bro. I'm picking up what you're putting down. We'll get there. We can only set the hook a little bit at a time. All right.
There's not much more to say. You know, I've been on TV in St. Louis and down in Arkansas. I've done a lot in this business, but never signed with a major company.
And you know, here's the thing: is people don't really understand or grasp the fact that yes, there is TV on Monday and Wednesday and Thursday on the national level, but that's the end of the rainbow. There's a long journey that happens from the first time you train to get to those Monday nights. And there are so many great companies that are around this country that are performing weekly and monthly and drawing huge crowds. Independent wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. I don't need to stand on a pulpit and preach it, but it is the lifeblood of what professional wrestling is today, because no matter who it is, everyone you see on a national broadcast, whether it be on a Monday night or a Wednesday night or a Thursday night or Friday night, they all started in the independents. So you can get a chance to see them before they were stars. And that leads me to 3PWA.
I've heard of that place.
It's a great little company here based in Corona, California. So it's Southern California's finest pro wrestling. And it's something that we're both proud of, that every first Saturday of the month we get to entertain the citizens of Corona, California, and put on a professional wrestling show that's family friendly and is going to leave them wanting more, asking questions, and when they leave and they drive away, the one thing they will say is that is worth the money I paid to walk through the front door.
Absolutely, you're correct right there. You know, when fans come up to us after the show and say, "Oh my God, this is the greatest event I've ever been to, I've ever seen," and it's like, we're just doing what we do and what we love. You know, we try to put on the best show that we possibly can. We want our fans to come in and have an experience, not just the normal indie show. Here's a ring, here's a shower curtain that somebody's going to pop through. Mm-hmm. We do the thing. We try to do it right.
Yeah, we're constantly evolving our production, our look. And here's the beautiful thing about 3PWA. You can bring a family of 4 to a 3PWA event literally for the cost of parking your car at one of the other major professional wrestling events. And that tells you a lot right there. And you're never going to question the dollar you spend on a 3PWA show, because we guarantee that we'll provide the best in professional wrestling in Southern California.
Couldn't say it better myself.
You know, it feels like I've done this a couple times.
A time or two.
Now, speaking of what I've done a couple times here, let me go real quick to our official sponsor here at the Fortress of Solitude, Pizza Fans, home of the Flying Saucer Pizza. Now, if you've not seen this Flying Saucer Pizza, you could not put this thing on the table. I ordered one the other day, and I could not put the box in my Jeep. It did not fit.
That's a
pretty big pizza. That's a big. I see what you did there. Also, we are another one of our sponsors, Great Mechanic, 10 Degrees Auto. If you need anything on your car, service, maintenance, taken care of, our friends over at 10 Degrees Auto will make sure your car rides like it's brand new.
They
Look, I said that.
they take care of all of your needs.
Your
when it comes to
auto
your
need,
vehicles.
and I'm gonna let you have this one.
Oh,
I know
buddy.
I'm gonna
buddy.
serve this one up to you
Oh,
right
buddy.
now because this is one of our favorite sponsors because
It's just so damn good.
it's delicious and it takes you back to the days in the carnival. It takes you back to walking around a boardwalk or a pier or hanging out on a Friday night at that local carnival that comes to town.
Our friends at Fun Cakes.
Fun O Cakes. They're the best funnel cakes you'll ever have. Everyone is made fresh right in front of you. It is hot, warm, and they have hundreds, and I'm not exaggerating, hundreds of toppings to put on the funnel cake. Fun O Cakes.
Dude, you get that little bit of ice cream.
Oh,
you
stop
get that
it.
Fruity Pebbles on there. Oh my God.
You know, make me wanna swallow my tongue and kiss my mama. Oh yeah.
And we do have one more sponsor we need to drop.
Drop it like it's hot.
We got A Quality Garage Doors. If your garage door is all cattywampus, that is a word, right?
You know what? Cattywampus is one of those damn good words. Cattywampus means sideways, upside down, backwards.
If you're going and your door won't open, making funny noises, give our guys over there at A Quality Garage Door a call. They'll take care of you.
They will stop by your home, they will assess it, they will give you an estimate, and then they will do the quality work you need to get your garage door safe, secure, and
My button, it don't work.
that's not something you'll ever say again. So now that we've gotten the business out of the way of our sponsors and we've talked a little bit about us, let's go into the news of the day.
News of the day.
So, Tony, it is my favorite time of the year. It is my favorite season of the year, and I think as a whole, the world of wrestling is better for these next month and a half. It is WrestleMania season. And as lifelong fans, WrestleMania is the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. It is what every year builds to. It is what every storyline, every arc, every major feud ends at WrestleMania.
You know, I am a huge WrestleMania fan. However, I'm always waiting for that Monday afterwards.
Bro, no, that's a whole different thing because as much as Mania is the closing, I'm always excited because the Monday after Mania is the open of a new chapter. And it starts what's going to unfold for the next 12 months. And it may start with a whimper, it may start with a bang, but you know you're going to see that Monday after Mania, you're going to see faces you've never seen before.
You're going to see something cool.
You're going to see something cool. You're going to see debuts. You're going to see the start of something good. Or you may see the celebration of a new world champ. And this may not be for the world championship, but I can tell you a match that I'm most looking forward to at WrestleMania, and it's one Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar.
That's like a Mack truck getting ready to hit a brick wall.
Dude, and for those, if you've not seen the show this past week where Obafemi dropped Brock Lesnar, I've stood next to Brock Lesnar. I've been in the ring with Brock Lesnar, and I've never seen anyone just hoist Brock Lesnar up like that and manhandle him like he was 105 pounds.
I want to learn that strut.
Bro, I'm telling you now, and
I think I'd be blown up by the time I got to the ring.
Bro, that's, they said that about the head shake too. I remember seeing Obafemi about a year ago, and I do tons of podcasts, I do tons of interviews, and people would always go, yeah, who do you think's the future of WWE? And they would go, Braun Breaker, Javon Evans, Trick Williams. And I go, no, man, the dude is going to be Obafemi. Like, he reminds me of, and once I say this, you'll never unsee it, he reminds me of 2012 Roman Reigns in the Shield. where he was a puppy with big paws, and you knew when he grew into those big paws, he was going to be the guy the company's going to sit on for 5 years. Obafemi reminds me of he's getting ready to be the dude for the next 5 years.
That is a great analogy right there. Because, I mean, if you just look at the guy, he's just built like
bodies like that aren't grown on trees.
No.
And it's been a long time since a Brock Lesnar we've seen a body look like that, where
and be able to move the way that he moves.
And he's athletic and he passes the airport test. And for those who don't know, the airport test is this. If you're sitting in an airport, you watch someone walk down the aisle. You may not know his face. You may not know what he does, but when you look at him, all you say to yourself is, he does something.
I ain't messing with that dude.
I ain't messing with him. He does something, and I don't want to find out what it is.
When your hiney kind of starts getting real super tight, and you're like, remind me not to piss that dude off.
Yeah, no. So, Obafemi, I'm going to throw flowers at him because I believe at WrestleMania, he will get the win over Brock Lesnar, and I believe by SummerSlam, Obafemi could be a world champ.
I can see that. I can see that. Now, I'm not taking anything away from a Braun Breaker.
Not at all. Because you can have two things can be true at the same time. Because there was The Rock and there was Steve Austin.
And I truly see a WrestleMania main event in Braun Breaker and Obafemi.
Oh, without a doubt, bro. I think that's next year's main event. I think that's next year, night 2 main event, Obafemi, Braun Breaker world title.
I can see that.
Without a doubt, I could see it in a heartbeat, and I think that's going to be about as pretty as a knife fight, but it's going to be a good knife fight.
Now, what do you think of Rhea and Jade Cargill?
Here's the thing, and I've been around both young ladies, and I find Rhea is without a doubt one of the best quality, talented workers, male or female, in the business right now. Like, I believe Rhea is a complete talent. And Jade looks like a million. She is everything. Like, she is the living embodiment of Storm from the X-Men. In every way.
Like, she is built like, damn.
Yeah, like if you want if you want to create a wrestler and you're gonna build the perfect specimen, you'd build Jade Cargill.
It's really weird because when I think of a pro wrestler, I don't see an Obafemi. I don't see somebody built like Lex Luger.
Mm-hmm.
I see somebody like Arn Anderson. Big, but not bulky.
Yeah.
And that just might be because, I'm kind of big and bulky, but
you thickerer.
I'm thickerer.
Thickerer. That's how we call it. We call it thickerer.
But I look at somebody like Bronson Reed.
I love Bronson Reed.
That dude is damn.
I full disclosure, I worked hand in hand with Bronson Reed when he was known as Jonah in TNA, and just the young man gets it. And when I say he gets it, when you sit, when you're sitting there talking with someone about wrestling, there's 2 looks. There's either that burning desire in their eyes because they're hearing, what they want to get better, or you can smell something burning between their ears because they have no clue what you're saying to them.
That's the sponge I'm talking about.
He's that sponge. I've sat with him for hours and we've discussed little things, nuances, little teeny things that most people ignore.
Right.
And he will obsess over them. Mannerisms. How do my facials look? How am I moving my body? He's run a run of luck of injuries over the last 6 months. First the ankle and now a bicep. But I think he tries to work a style he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
And he doesn't work like a big man.
No, he works a style that's more high impact and high velocity. And here's the thing is, and I never got this when I was younger, but a lot of vets told me, and when I say it, you'll probably heard it 1,000 times. You never learn how to work correctly until after you get hurt. And I believe for the long run, now this may sound counterproductive, but for the long run, I believe this injury is going to help Bronson Reed because it's going to teach him how to work around his size and work with his size and not work that more high velocity style, but more of a ground and pound kind of a.
Honestly, you know what it kind of reminds me of a little bit? The Big Boss Man.
Yeah.
Ray Traylor.
Yeah.
After he hurt his back,
yes,
he slowed way down, and everything meant so much more.
Oh, and the thing, when he slowed down, it accentuated his size because Ray is not a small dude.
Right.
Ray was never a small dude, but when Ray worked really fast, which as a big man, I've fallen in that same thing because you want to try to show the world you're more than a big man. But what makes you special is you're a big man. And we kind of lose that.
But now, you're no small dude. And I do recall a certain somebody used to do this frog splash all the time.
Hey, we're not gonna talk about that. My knees hurt till this day.
Like,
You see me walk.
Like, but I was gonna no sell that, man.
Hey, bro. All right, bro. We'll kayfabe that. You know, kayfabe means something here. Okay. So we've touched on WrestleMania. Let's go down a little south, down to the Jacksonville, Florida, and look at a little AEW. What is your thought on the current state of affairs with One All Elite Wrestling?
You know, I have mixed emotions about this. I do like MJF.
Mm-hmm.
But he's kind of a prick.
That's what he's supposed to be. That's what he's supposed to be. And I get where you're going.
You know, now saying that, it seems like everybody wants to be Stone Cold Steve Austin there.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be the good guy. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. They all want to be the same guy.
Yeah, in the business we call that a shade of gray.
You know, and that doesn't entertain you.
No, and I would get where you're going, and to me, and I say this in every seminar I've ever been in, and those who have seen my seminars have been part of it. You'll get this. The oldest story ever told is God versus Satan, good versus evil.
Right. Cain and Abel, baby.
It's not God versus the dude in between. It's not. It's good. It's polar opposite of each other. And I think for every top babyface, there needs to be an equal yet opposite heel. And a lot of people in 2026 don't really want to embrace being the heel. Don't really want to embrace being the guy that's not just booed, but people don't like. MJF to me embraces being that being that dude who he doesn't want you to cheer him, and when you do cheer him, he'll cut you down.
Right.
I find that to be a breath of fresh air in 2026.
You know, like I said, he's good at what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Now, saying that, that's the one side. Now, on the other side, I'm gonna put their tag team division in a different category.
Mm-hmm.
Because they actually have a decent tag team division.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's so many good tag teams in WWE, but they're not really focused on it at all.
And WWE has always had a habit of never really focusing on tag teams. Well, if you go back in time, let's just go back to the NWA or Georgia Championship Wrestling or Florida Championship Wrestling or Mid Atlantic. They would always revolve around the heavyweight champion, and then your next top stars would be your tag team champion, whether that be the Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express, the Road Warriors, the Horsemen. They always position the tag titles as the number 2 title in the company behind the world title, who that was Flair or Dusty or Vader or Sting. as your champ, but you always knew that the wrestling aspect of the show was going to be fulfilled in the tag team match.
Right. But I will say this about back then. I absolutely loved the television title.
Oh God, yes.
That 10 minutes of TV was the best 10 minutes there was on TV.
Because, and to me as a fan, you weren't guaranteed a lot in wrestling, but you knew every Saturday on the Superstation, the TV champion was going to defend his belt. And whether it was Arn Anderson or Tully Blanchard or whoever was holding the strap at that moment, you knew they were going to be out there. And it was a 10-minute TV time limit.
Right.
And the champ didn't have an advantage, and he had to win just as much as the competitor. So it's one of those deals where I enjoy the TV title. I love it. It's one of those belts that I always wanted to win. Full disclosure, between the TV title and the World Championship, two belts I've always wanted to say, yeah, I'm that champ. So I wish we could bring back a more wrestling centric segment to today's wrestling world.
Right. And, you know, quite honestly, at 3PWA, we try to do that with the Legion of Valor.
And you see, it's like we've done this a few hundred times. You see how I set you up and you knock it down and you knock
boom,
it, and I
home
caught
run.
it in the outfield.
Home run.
I threw it to you. You hit a fly ball, and I ran to center field. And here we go right now to 3PWA. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't just say this because I'm part of the product. I don't just say this because it's what I do. I say this because I genuinely feel that 3PWA provides the best family-friendly wrestling environment in all of Southern California. On a given night, you will laugh, cry, be angry, be upset, be happy, be jubilant, and that's all in the first match, and that's what we provide here at 3PWA.
I thought you were just talking about the announcers.
Whoops. And you know what? Real quick, let me just introduce you to the announcer at 3PWA. Hey, how you doing? So there we are, and let's take a look at what's coming up on April 4th, the first Saturday in April. 3PWA is doing something that hasn't been done in a long time here in Southern California. 3PWA is providing a one of my favorite matches, a Lumberjack Match for the 3PWA championship between Big Vito and the American Punk. And this one has been something that's been brewing, burning. It is on fire, and hopefully we can get some kind of resolution on April 4th.
You know, I've been in the ring with these guys, against these guys, and let me tell you something. They're two of the hardest hitting guys in SoCal. And now, saying that, when Vito actually beat Punk for the title under some not so classy ways, that just burnt the American Punk right up. And he's been on fire, ready to come whoop everything in sight ever since.
The thing you got to worry about American Punk is he's a dude who doesn't like to take a backseat to anybody. And he doesn't forget. He's got a long memory. And if you kind of screw him over, it may not be the next day, it may not be the next week, but guarantee you the American Punk is going to come back with vengeance, and this leads us to April 4th. Here at the Reina Dome at 2045 California Avenue, Suite 110 here in the Crown City of Corona, California. 3pwa.com for more ticket information. And just know, Saturday, April 4th, doors open 6:30, bell time 7 p.m. And you don't want to be late. Seats are at a premium, and you want to be here the minute the first bell rings.
Now, there is another title match that we need to discuss. And that is for the Legion of Valor title. Your current champion, Angel Pureheart, little punk. Anyways, he's wrestling Eli Emerson. And if you haven't seen either one of these guys do their thing in the ring, you guys are in for a treat because this is going to be a bombshell of a match.
Let's start out with, first of all, the Legion of Valor title, just so it's full disclosure for our audience. You can associate the Legion of Valor title with the Intercontinental Championship, with the U.S. title. It's the number 2 title in our promotion. And it has slowly shifted to a title where a lot of the younger competitors have really taken upon themselves to try to challenge for it. And this brings us to Eli and Pureheart, two of the younger generation here in Southern California, and combined. And I don't ever like showing how the sausage is made. But combined, they might have 3 years of wrestling experience. But every time I see them in the ring, every time I watch them walk around the back, every time I hear them talk, they sound like 10 and 15-year vets the way they're talking about this business of professional wrestling. So I'm going to go on a limb and say it's not a matter of if, but when you see one or both of these young men on a Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or Friday night. It's not a matter of if, but when. And come out and see them compete for the Legion of Valor Championship, and just, you're going to be entertained.
Absolutely, man. It's like I said, I can't say enough about these two guys, except for, I could say some more stuff about Angel because,
But we're keeping a continuum here. We're keeping it strictly professional.
I'm trying.
I know it's difficult. It's difficult. But you got there. Look, see this. This is not just a hat. This is the announcer hat.
Oh, okay.
That you got the announcer hat on.
Okay.
So now okay.
All right.
Okay.
You know who else we have on the show?
Who we got?
Blake Grayson came out and made some appearances. It's on TV right now.
Speak of the devil.
And he was doing some scouting. And there was a little video that aired showing a little meeting between him, 5-star Raymond Bright, and Onyx Amagi.
And that was, I saw that video, and it's very concerning that those three are sitting there talking. What do you think is going on?
If I had to make a bet, I'd say they're conspiring on trying to do a little something here in 3PWA.
Well, you know what? I will say there's safety in numbers. As someone who spent a lot of time in some groups with guys protecting my back, it's not a bad idea to put bodies around you. And I would rather go into a fight 3 deep or 4 deep as opposed to walking in by myself alone.
True that.
Blake Grayson, when you see him, you see someone that you instantly go, he's a ground and pound kind of guy. But when you watch Blake Grayson elevate and go to the high rent district, he plays above the top rope, as well as a lot of guys I know. So if you get a chance to see Blake Grayson on
half his
size. If you get a chance to see Blake Grayson or the rest of the roster here at 3PWA, come on out and support, because it is something special.
Come buy a t-shirt, come get a funnel cake, and a slice of pizza.
And man, sit back, get your popcorn ready, and enjoy 3PWA. It is one of the best shows I've been around, and I've been around a lot of shows.
You heard that right from the man himself.
So with that being said, Tony, I think we should wrap up the first episode of The Fortress of Solitude, and tell people that we'll be here on a fairly regular basis, talking, chopping it up. Please feel free to hit us up on 3PWA on our Insta and our social medias, and give you comments, concerns. If you've got questions, throw them our way. We might not have the answers, but we're going to give you the best answer we can come up with at that 10 minutes.
We'll definitely give it a whirl.
We'll give it a shot in the dark. With that being said, I'm D'Lo Brown.
Tony Raze.
And thank you for joining us on The Fortress of Solitude. You better recognize that.